Hi, my name is Jack Epstein. I'm the principal attorney here at the Epstein Law Firm, and I get questions every week, all sorts of different questions about Illinois workers' compensation. If you have a question, you can always email me, jack@illinoiscompensation.com, or you can give us a call, 773-346-8000. One of the questions I get is, do I need a lawyer? And if I don't need a lawyer, how do I file an application for benefits? How do I file a lawsuit? It's not really a lawsuit, but how do I file for workers' compensation? So I'm going to give you the steps today for filing your own application for benefits. It's called an application for adjustment of claim under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act. So let's get into it right away. The first thing you're going to need is the actual document, which I'm holding in my hand. It's the application for adjustment of claim, and that can be found on the Illinois Workers' Compensation website, which I'm going to ask my producer, Marco, to pull up now. The website for the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. It's on your screen right now. It's www.illinois.gov/site/IWCC/resources/pages/forms. But if you search on Google for forms, Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission, it'll come right up at the top of the screen. So what we've got now is we've got our website. And Marco, if you'd go to the website and you see in the right-hand corner, right bottom of the corner, you'll see where it says forms. I think Marco's looking at using the cursor, and right there you're going to click on that button. Marco, if you would click on that button, and then it comes to all the forms under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look for case management forms. I think Marco's got our cursor right on there. Good. And we're going to left click on case management forms. And we've done that. And now the first document that you're going to see is IC01, Application for Adjustment of Claim. And you can either do it in Word or you can do it in Adobe PDF. I prefer Adobe PDF, so I'm going to ask Marco to go ahead and click on Adobe PDF. And there comes on your screen your application for adjustment of claim. And so now I'm going to teach you exactly how to fill out the application for adjustment of claim. Now I'm going to have a warning right here. This is not legal advice. If you have any legal questions about doing this, you should look for a qualified lawyer who practices regularly under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act, who understands how to do an application for adjustment of claim. This is complicated, but if you insist on doing it yourself, these are your steps. Call me if you have any questions, okay? Here we go, starting right at the top. So the first question is whether this is a case under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act or this is a case under the Occupational Diseases Act. Occupational diseases are like black lung, asbestosis, things like that. Normally, in a normal workers' compensation accident, broken fingers, broken leg, hurt back, bump in the head, all those things are cases under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act. So the first thing you're going to do, we're going to assume you have something like that. You're going to put a big X right there, and you can do this, by the way, with a pen. You don't need to do this on a computer, but if you want, you can. But you can do this, you can just print it out and do it by hand. I'm going to put a big X where it says Workers' Compensation Act. Then the next thing is this a fatal case? Did the person who was involved in the accident die? Obviously, if somebody died in an accident, you should go and find a good workers' compensation lawyer. I'm not even going to talk about a fatal case. Let's assume that it's a no, and we're going to put a big old no right there with the fatal case. So it's not a fatal case. So we're going to skip date of death, and we're going to go right to employee petitioner. Employee petitioner is the injured person involved in the accident. That's you. So we're going to put John Doe right there, and then the next thing we're going to put here is the employer respondent. That's the company. So we're going to put ABC Company. And then the next question is location of accident, and it says city or state. Let's just assume Chicago, Illinois, but whatever state and city the accident occurred, that's what you're going to put. So let's put Chicago, Illinois. Next question is injured employee's name. That is basically the same person as that was up previously. So that's John Doe. And you're going to put that your address or wherever the injured person lives. So let's put 123 First Avenue in Chicago, Illinois, and the zips. Next thing we're going to have is the company name. And again, we had the name company ABC Company. We'll put that down there, ABC Company. Street address of the company, let's go 321 2nd Street in Chicago, Illinois. Okay, next question. Employee information. Is this a state employee? Does the employee work for the state of Illinois? I'm assuming no, so we're going to put no. And then the next question is, excuse me, are you a male or a female? Let's assume female. And then are you married or single? We're going to assume married. And next question is dependents under the age of 18. This is on the date of the accident. How many kids did you have under 18 or 18 exactly? Well, it's actually 17 and 364 days, but under the age of 18 on the date of the accident. Let's assume 3, so we'll write 3. Then your birth date, let's put 1/1/70. How about that? 1970. Average weekly wage. Now, this is a very difficult question. It seems kind of easy, but it's a little bit more difficult than one would appear. It would appear, just looking at it. This is your average wage, your average weekly wage for the 52 weeks before your accident. Now, is overtime included? Is bonuses included? There are other wages that you get. Do you get a shift time bonus? Do you get any other tips, for example? All of these can affect your average weekly wage. It's important that you call an attorney because the different types of payments can affect, payments to you can affect your average weekly wage. But I'm just going to assume you have the basic wages. You make minimum wage, $10 an hour, or minimum, or let's just assume $12 an hour, minimum wage here in the city of Chicago. And you work 40 hours a week. So you can, let's just assume you make $500 a week. I know that's a little bit more, but let's assume you make $500 a week. You're going to put your average weekly wage right there. Your date of your accident, the date the accident occurred, let's say January 1st, 2018. The employer was notified orally or in writing. Well, you all know that you have to notify your employer of your accident within 45 days of the date of the accident. Did you notify your employer orally, in writing, or both? And so if it's orally, you'll put an X in orally. If it's in writing, you'll put an X where it says in writing. Or if it's both, you put 2 X's in both orally and in writing. Next question, how did the accident occur? This is just basically, in very, very limited sense, how did the accident occur? The forklift ran over somebody was driving a forklift and it ran over my foot. So I'm going to say forklift accident. And the part of the body affected, well, if it ran over your left foot, well, that would be left foot. But it can be any part of your body that you want. Next thing is nature of the injury. Well, under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act, you are compensated for accidents that result in injuries that are permanent and that affect you and that are permanently affect you and that are also severe. So look, I always put that my injury, the nature of the injury is permanent and severe. That's what I always put, but you can put whatever you want. You can say that it's nature of the injury, broken foot. You can say broken toe, anything like that. Okay, so let's go back to return to work date. That's the date that you return to work after the injury. If you had your accident on January 1st, 2018, and you went back to work on February 1st, 2018, that would be what you'd put there. Next question is a petition for immediate hearing attached? A petition for immediate hearing is a complicated document that usually requires a lawyer, and it's a separate document. I'm not going to get into it here. It would just be, we'd be here for hours, so we're just going to assume no. You're not going to attach an immediate hearing, a petition for immediate hearing. Next is the injured employee currently receiving temporary total disability? Well, if you're still off work and you're receiving temporary total disability, the answer would be yes. If you are not receiving temporary total disability, the answer would be no. Is a prior application ever filed for this employee? List the case number and its status. That is, do you have any other cases in the past? If you do, you are required to put the case numbers for the past cases that you have filed. We're going to assume that you don't have any past cases, and so we're not going to put anything there. Now, This is a legal document. You have to sign and verify that everything here is completely correct. That's why you're going to sign there under signature of petitioner, and you are going to date the date the date that you signed the document. Next thing is the appearance of petitioner's attorney. You are not going to fill out anything here. You are not unless you're an attorney. You don't fill out anything right there, because that's where the attorney would give his or her information and would sign it. Okay, next thing, we're going to go to the back. We're going to go to the second page, Marco. If you could go to the second page. And what this is this is a proof of service. What this is it's verifying to the commission that you are serving this document, the application for adjustment of claim, on your employer. So you have to fill this out. So the first blank is I, and then a blank, that's your name. So we're going to put, what did we say here? We are John Doe. So we're going to put John Doe. And if you deliver it by hand, then you would put an X after the first I delivered, or if you mailed it, you're going to put an X after mailed with proper postage. In the city of, that's where you mailed it, so we'll just put Chicago as an example. Chicago, Illinois. And then you're going to put the time that you either delivered it or intend to deliver it, or the time that you intend to put it into the mail. So let's put 9 a.m. and and that's the date that you intend to mail this document. Let's assume it's today, so April 4, 2018. I'm going to put that there. And then the space below, there's a space right there where the cursor is. That's where you're going to put the name and address of the company where you worked and where you suffered your accident. You're going to sign the document where it says signature of person completing proof of service, and then you're going to take it to a notary. And you're going to sign it in front of the notary, obviously, and you're going to have the document notarized. And then, here's the most important thing. You're going to take this document to 100 West Randolph in downtown Chicago. You're going to walk up to the 8th floor, and that's the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. You're going to talk to the person at the front desk and show them the documents and say, I want to file my application for adjustment of claim. And you're going to take 6 copies of this document, and you're going to take the 6 copies, and they're going to show you where the filing desk is. It's actually off to the right, about 100 feet away from the entrance of the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. You're going to hand the documents to the person there, and that person is going to stamp them with the file stamp of the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. There is actually another way to do it. You can mail it with a self-addressed stamped envelope, return self-addressed stamped envelope back to you. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's better to take this over to the commission itself, have it filed, and now you've got a case filed before the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. Of course, that means a lot of things for you. You're going to be receiving notices to appear at the commission. You're going to have to appear at the commission every 3 months and represent yourself. And that's a complicated thing, and that's why I advise you to get a lawyer immediately. Look for a lawyer who's experienced in Illinois workers' compensation. But if you want to go through the steps, you can do it. You have to appear in court every 3 months. You may be not in court at the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission. You may be receiving notices to appear at the Illinois Workers' Compensation Commission for motion dates and also for trial dates, and you've got to really pay attention to those. But it can be done. But those are the basic steps for filing your Illinois Workers' Compensation application for adjustment of claim. If you have any questions, you can call me, 773-346-8000. Email me, jack@illinoiscompensation.com, or call me, 773-346-8000. And if you have any other questions, please do that. And until next time, my name is Jack Epstein.